What's up everyone, welcome back to Thinking Cap, and in this one, it's my weekly series best FPL Captain. Last game week we made it 4 double-digit holes in a row from the top spot. That's 122 points from our best captain in just 4 game weeks. Let's see if we can get another double-digit hole in game week 5. Thinking Cap activated. We'll begin with a really quick review of last game week's rankings. Although everyone didn't return in game week 4, it was technically a perfect order of the captains, my second perfect order in a row. Haaland 13 points with a brace at first, then Palmer outscored Salah by 1 point, so technically it is still correct. Isak didn't perform in the wildcard spot, and he's actually the first wildcard captain to blank this season. On to the Game Week 5 shortlist now. The 4 premiums I'm looking at this game week for captaincy are Haaland, Salah, Watkins, and Cole Palmer. On paper, Haaland has the toughest fixture with Watkins, Salah, and Palmer all neck and neck for the most favorable one. Looking at these teams' defensive data, it seems West Ham are the one to target. 7.92 expected goals conceded in just 4 games. That puts West Ham 17th out of all Premier League teams for XGC. Wolves and Bournemouth are sitting around the same XGC, but Wolves have conceded 11 goals. Most of those goals did come in the 6-2 game against Chelsea. Arsenal, by the way, are by far the best defense if you didn't know. Only 1 goal conceded in the first 4 games, and without Rice's red card, they'd likely be sitting second or third lowest expected goals conceded in the league. Now for recovery and rest. Palmer has had 9 rest days with Watkins, Salah, and Haaland all getting 4 days of recovery before game week 5. Although Haaland has been in Manchester this whole week, guys, whereas the other two did travel, so Watkins and Salah will have less quality rest. It's important to gauge which of these premiums will receive the best minutes in game week 5. And to no surprise, Haaland and Salah are top of minutes projections. Both of them are expected to hit close to 90 minutes. Palmer and Watkins are projected to play 85. Let's look at expected points now. Salah sits clear with 7.5 projected, then it's Palmer with 6. Haaland and Watkins are both tied last on 5.6 projected. It's evident that the models are saying to go against Haaland captain this week. Before we dive into the kickoff data analysis, let's conduct a quick risk assessment. The lowest risk captain for Game Week 5 is Salah, who I've got at 25% risk. I expect most of the FPL masses to captain him. He's going to be the majority captain, which also means you're going to gain less from him, but he's only 46.7% owned, guys. So around the half of the game, don't have him right now. He's still going to offer sizable gain for your FPL team this weekend. Haaland is the next lowest risk captain. I expect many people, mostly casuals, just to leave the armband on him this game week. Therefore, I do think he offers 40% risk, 75% gain. His risk is much higher than it's been in the last couple of weeks because obviously more people will go against him. But that also means if you do want to cap him, you're getting a more explosive asset with less people backing him, which means there's more to gain, right? So that makes him automatically a dangerous option. Palmer and Watkins are both above 85% risk. They also are both above 90% gain. Now we're going to take a look at how the players have fared previously in their upcoming fixture. Haaland has 3 returns in 2 starts versus Arsenal at home. However, he did bag all 3 returns in his first season when Rob Holding was starting at centre back. Mo Salah has been very, very consistent when facing Bournemouth at home, 4 goals in 9 starts and only 1 blank. Ollie Watkins hasn't fared well at all against Wolves, 1 assist against them, and he's blanked in 66% of his starts. Cole Palmer hasn't faced West Ham away from home, but last season he did return 8 points against West Ham at Stamford Bridge. 3 seasons ago, Palmer did actually face West Ham in Premier League 2 when he was at Man City's academy. In this match, he recorded a hat-trick from right wing. Now, I know Premier League versus Premier League 2, it's not the same level, but Palmer's best output matches in Premier League 2 were games against Everton. Palmer's never blanked versus the Toffees in Premier League 2, and his biggest haul was 2 goals and 1 assist in 2021. His favoritism versus Everton did carry through in his breakout season. Will it do the same this weekend? Next, it's how the players have performed on their game day. So Cole Palmer, he's playing Saturday away from home and he's returned 7 GA in 8 starts, but he has blanked in 50% of those starts. That indicates less consistency and more explosive potential for multiple returns in a game. His form across the last 5 does rank last out of all of these options. So basically, he could return big or he could blank. It seems risky off first glance. Ollie Watkins, he's got a mixed bag of data in Saturday home starts. He's blanked in 38% of them, which isn't amazing, but he's produced 34 GA in 32, a sign of potential explosivity. His form does rank second in this category, and his 1.06 GA per start suggests he's likely for 1 goal involvement. Haaland tops average points per start, returns per start, and he's tied first with Mo Salah for the lowest blank rate and the best double-digit hole rate. These are more positive signs for Haaland than what the models were previously showing. However, Haaland has failed to return a single double-digit hole in any of his last 5 starts in Sunday home games. This does suggest against Robot Captain in Gameweek 5. Finally, Mo Salah, who has a very all-rounded data set. His form over the last 5 ranks first at 7 points per start and 1 GA per start with a 55 game sample size is a very, very encouraging sign for 1 return minimum from the Egyptian versus Bournemouth. Now we've looked at the game day data, let's compare these guys' stats in their game times. Palmer has started only once at 12:30 p.m. away from home, and that was against Luton last season. He registered 2 goals and an assist in that game, which could be a telltale sign for things to come versus West Ham. Haaland started 5 times in away games kicking off at 4:30 p.m., and it's only 3 returns for Erling in those 5. This is one of his worst data sets for a particular game time, and the data shows this too. His return rate ranks 4th out of 4, and he also ranks last in average points, form, double-digit hole percentage, and blank percentage. Haaland captain does not look favorable this week. Watkins has surprisingly better data than Mo Salah in this category. He tops returns per start with 1.27. He's registered 19 GA in 15 starts in his 3 p.m. home matches. He's only blanked 13% of those matches as well, so he looks really secure for a return, 1 return minimum this week, but his chances for a double-digit hole are lower than Mo Salah's, and again, Salah's numbers highlight his consistency season after season. His double-digit hole production of 30% in 27 starts shows his capacity for explosivity against Bournemouth, and it's clear he will be a top option in my Gameweek 5 rankings, which we'll move into now. Before we get into the Gameweek 5 Captain Rankings, you need to know that these rankings could change, guys. Captaincy means we need to access and process the maximum amount of information so that we can make the best, most informed decision. I post my Gameweek 5 rankings on all my social platforms, so if they do change based on leaks, injuries, or press conference news, make sure you're following at least one of my social accounts to get the latest info before the deadline closes. Linktree is in the video description, and now I am on a tight clock today, so let's not beat around the bush. In the 3rd spot, we've got Haaland, and in the wildcard spot, we've got Palmer. Haaland's kickoff data, it's poor, and he's playing one of the best defenses in the league, guys. I would have been more open towards a 4th consecutive Haaland captain if De Bruyne hadn't gotten injured midweek, but he's been declared out for that game, and when Foden and Gundo are playing in those dual 10/8 roles, then Haaland's goal share historically, it just has gone right down. So Haaland, thank you for the points, but do not surprise us this game week with a fat hole, please. Would I sell Haaland? No, I probably wouldn't, but if you do want to go against him long term, then this looks like the prime exit point. So, if you are looking to go against him in the future, game weeks 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then you can sell him for sure. I would say yes. And so Palmer takes the wildcard spot, and that's because he is a very high-risk captain, but he offers very, very high gain. 0 shots against Bournemouth, 0 penalty box touches, and I heard Maresca wants to continue using Palmer in a deeper role, and I'm just not really sure that that's the best thing for Palmer goals and assists. I also think that Gusto and James not being fit, it impacts Palmer massively because when Chelsea build from the back, Cucurella dominates the ball progression because Disasi is not as comfortable building from the back. But look, of course, it's Cole Palmer, right? He can smash it in any game, I don't doubt that. But even his kickoff day data, he's blanked 50% of his starts away from home on Saturday, and those aren't numbers which encourage you towards a Palmer captain in the biggest captain split week we're going to see so far in this season. Now, first place is taken for the 2nd time this season by Mo Salah. Watkins, takes the second spot. For the first time, he is in the top 3 this season. Salah, look, he may not come out on top in every category, but he likes the Bournemouth fixture. His historical ceiling is actually 21 or 22 points. Hat trick he got a couple of seasons ago against the Cherries, and that was away from home. But he still does like the fixture. His historical trends are very, very promising, and he looks very good for one return. That's something that we saw all throughout his kickoff data. And look, I'd love to chase the double digits 5 times in a row with a Watkins or Palmer as my top option. I really would, guys. I'd love to chase that. But the average for an elite manager, like for captain, if you want to be an elite manager and you want to have elite captaincy, the average is approximately 8 points a week across the 38. 8 points average. And I think one return from Salah this week is probably 8 points, with a small chance for obviously more than that, double digit hole, blah, blah, blah. So, and the thing is, Mo rarely blanks twice in a row in the league this early on, and 3 times in Europe and Premier League, that's just very, very rare. And I don't like backing against him this weekend. I have actually brought him into my own team, and he is my Gameweek 5 captain. Watkins is a close second, a very, very close second, but with the possibility that he receives 70 to 75 minutes with Duran being so hot, I really want to back Mo on this one for sure. And on Watkins, I think the fixture and matchup is really great. His form is turning really, really quick. Assist versus Leicester, brace versus Everton, assist and a disallowed goal against Young Boys in under 45 minutes. And he got the early sub 60th minute in that Champions League game too. So he's actually gotten a little bit more rest than Salah. I just don't have the trust in him in terms of the X minutes stout, and Duran's lurking in the background and he doesn't have penalties. Routes to points is lower than what a Salah offers you, and I just think he does have a low floor. Like, I won't be surprised if he does put up a blank this game week, but I think he's very likely for a return. I think his form's on the turn as well, so don't be surprised if he goes big this game week. And if you don't have Salah, you have Haaland and Watkins. I would be going with Watkins cap this week because I really, really wanted to bring him in, but there was just no way I could have got to him. So yes, guys, I think I definitely would captain him over Haaland if I owned him, and because I just think there's big potential. Like, Watkins' ceiling is very, very high. If he gets 90 minutes, I think his ceiling moves up from 2 returns to 2 to 4 returns if he plays 90 minutes. That is a wrap, guys, for my Game Week 5 Best Captain video. I've got my Game Week 5 preview vid out right now, so go check out that one for transfer tips, advice on what to do with your premiums, injury updates, all that jazz. Good luck this weekend, guys, and may your arrows be green. Peace.